Hey, what's up, friends? My name is Matt, and I get to help lead the student ministry here at the church at Severn Run. It's July 2020. We've got a great new summer schedule for our student ministry. So here's the quick beats. You can find our newsletter and all of our information on social media. You can go to severnrunner.info/students to find all the information there. On Sundays, Daniel and I are outside before and after every service. We have a tent, we have cornhole, and we have popsicles. So we'd love for you to join us just to connect at our student ministry hub outside on Sundays before and after every service. Throughout the week, we have a lot of great online opportunities. You can learn more about when and where we are throughout the week, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Zoom, and YouTube. A lot of different things going on online. And then Wednesday nights for the month of July, we are meeting back here at the building outside only for all middle school and high school students. Anyone who graduated from 5th grade through 12th grade in 2020 is invited. So we encourage you to bring a friend. We are outside, socially distanced, having fun, having some adventures and surprises every week, Wednesdays 7 to 8:30. So we hope to see you either online, at the building, one way or another. We love you all, we miss you, and we hope to talk to you very soon.
Hello, what is up, Colliders? It is Michael. I think, most of you have seen me around here on Wednesday nights. If you haven't, I am one of the youth leaders. I've been coming to this church for about maybe 5 years now. So I've gotten to be on the student side, but also the leadership side. So I'm still learning, but it's definitely been a great experience getting to know most of you. And then for some of you I've known, learning more about you. Anyways, that is not what we're talking about today. Today, I will be talking about the focus point will be purpose doesn't require perfection, it requires imperfection. Now, most of you, that probably doesn't make sense, so let me just unpack that, through the rest of this video. I first want to say, obviously, look, God's given all of us different gifts and talents and passions, and I feel like a lot of the time, there's so much about us we have not explored. There's so much about you that you have not explored. I like singing. I'm on the worship team. I do that thing, and I feel like that's definitely the first gift I've discovered about myself. It was the first gift, and but there's so much more I don't know about myself. There's so much more that you don't know about yourself. You may like dancing or art, but there's so much more that you can explore about yourself that God's placed within you. And with that being said, the focus point is purpose doesn't require perfection, it requires imperfection. So let's get into that. First, I want to talk about what perfection actually means, because I feel like the world has a very specific, there's a very specific definition for what perfect looks like in this world. But I think biblically it looks very different. I think that God, I feel like the Bible really actually defines what perfection looks like. And there's a verse, and this is one of those moments where, even myself as a leader, I'm forgetting the verse, but it says, I believe it says, be perfect like your heavenly Father in heaven. Matt's looking at me right now. He probably knows it, but there's a verse that says, so be like your heavenly Father who is perfect. So I want to talk about that, because when I first read that, in my head, I thought, well, we're not like God, so how can we be perfect? But that's the thing. It's not being. We're never going to be exactly like God. We have certain characteristics. We were made in His image, but we're never going to be fully, exactly like God. We're human beings, and we're flawed. And so, immediately I feel like God was telling me by the end of me trying to think about what this means is perfection is simply being more like God. It doesn't mean we're exactly like God. So I think by the end of it, I understood it, and God kind of just unpacked that for me. It's perfection is being more like God. That is perfection. In this world, though, perfection is the perfect selfie on social media or perfect relationships, and there are no perfect relationships. And why? Because relationships are about people, and people are complex. So there's no perfect relationship. There's not even a perfect selfie. Any picture where it's the perfect light, probably that person took like 15 takes to try to get this one picture right, so that they could face less judgment. And so nothing is perfect, even when it looks so. And so now that I've talked a little bit about what perfection, biblically what the Bible says about perfection, I want to talk about purpose. And I feel like a lot of you are middle school to high school, and so you're still trying to figure it out. And I just want to tell you, I'm 21. I'm still trying to figure it out. So there's no rush. There really isn't. I know people who are older than me who are still figuring it out. There are people at 60 who are probably still. Its purpose is, and that's because, I can only assume that's because so many of us are trying to find this, this purpose through the world. And it took me a long time to realize it, but the world doesn't have much to offer you in that. There's so much that the world promises, but at the end of the day, God's promises are concrete, and we can have faith in knowing that they will happen. Whatever the world promises us, never always, we can't, it's never concrete. Sometimes it doesn't happen. And so, purpose, like I said, there's so many gifts and talents that God's given you. For me, I also write poetry. That's something that I didn't even know was a gift I had. When I was in high school, I actually remember our teacher gave us an assignment to write a poem. And I think it was on anything. But I plagiarized mine. I went online and looked up, poems, and I stole one. And she found out. Somehow, I don't know how she found this out, but I turned it in the next morning. It wasn't even, I don't even think it was a well-known poem. It was just a random poem I found on the internet. She figured it out. I handed it in. Somehow she figured it out. She's a genius, but I plagiarized it. I didn't know how to write poetry back then, but once I got out of high school, I just started writing, and it just came to be. I started writing all these poems, and it just started flowing out of me, like without effort. And when you can do something with little effort, that's totally God-given. That's definitely something God has placed within you. And let me just say this: other talents and gifts that you have might not come so easily. They might need practice, but that does not mean that God didn't, put that in you. It just means that you just need practice, and it just means the craft needs to be worked on until you get to where you need to be. But other times there are things that just flow easily, like singing. Singing for me just comes so easily, and I've been doing it my whole life, and so that's definitely something God's given me, is the ability, not only ability, but the gift to sing. And so there's some things that's just going to come easily, and I think of it this way. You gotta walk into the mystery. It's always a mystery. Like, you don't know if you're going to be good at something until you try it, right? It's the same thing with that. And poetry was a mystery to me. I didn't know I was good at it, but I started writing. Just started writing, and it became this thing. And now I post a few on Instagram. I use my social media platform to post poems, and a lot of them include my faith in God, and so I use it that way. And so you never know where it's going to go until you fall into the mystery. It's a mystery, but we're called to walk into the mystery. There's so many things, like I said, that you have not explored about yourself. It's the same with me. Guitar. I was waiting to get on this. I don't play the guitar very well. I used to, and then I lost that first guitar, and I just got another one. Someone gave it to me for free. I was looking for one. I was willing to buy it, but someone offered me a guitar for free, and now I'm relearning it. The cool thing, though, is I know how to play like 4 songs by now, but I haven't learned any of the chords. Stay with me on this. The way I've been learning is just by ear. I listen to a certain song. I think about how a song sounds, and then I just think to myself, okay, how is it going to sound on the guitar? And I literally just start, step by step, I just start playing each section of the song. I hope you guys are hearing me. Like, I don't know any chords. I'm telling you this right now. I know about 4 or 5 songs, and I've learned it all by ear. I listen to a song, and then I step away, start playing it on the guitar. You have no idea, like, how good you'll be at something until you just fall into it. And with guitar, I fell into the mystery, and I just realized that, hey, I picked this up pretty good, and I haven't learned any chords. I'm not learning like everyone else, and so that's another thing. Your process is going to be unique. It's not going to be like everyone else's. Dance. If you like dance, for those of you who dance, you're not going to learn the same way as everyone else. You're unique. God's made you the way you are. And don't be ashamed or envy the way other people are doing it. There's a specific, way that you are to learn it, and you should embrace that. Singing, it's the same thing. We should always be just trying to find out what's so unique about us, and it's good to pull inspiration from other people, but we should try and like embrace more of what makes us stand out. I want to move really quickly into something that just happened, because when we don't live in our purpose, it not only affects our life, but it affects the people around us. And so I want to move into that. I just so I was in the Army for like 4 months. That's a short time. I know. I was at basic training, and I just came back home because I'm not in the Army anymore. It was health related issues, and I just had a buddy who committed suicide a few days ago. He wasn't a best friend. He wasn't even, and it's weird that I'm saying it, but I can't call him a friend because I wasn't a friend to him. We just lived together for 4 months, and you know, though you live together with a group of people for 4 months, you become a family. You know, that's all you know. Especially when you're on a military base and you're away from your family, your immediate, you know, you're a family. You're closed off from the world, and so the people on that base are your family. And so I can't call him a friend, but it's still tough. You know, I think he didn't need to be a best friend. It still hits hard, and especially when you feel like you could have done something. And I don't know, maybe some of you have dealt with loss before, but there's always that question, right? Like, what if? Like, what if I did this or that? You know, how would it be different? And I just feel like I wasn't fully living in my purpose. I felt like there was something, you know, even coming back home, you know, I could have reached out to him, you know, even leaving the base. And I reached out to so many guys I knew there, but he wasn't one of them. And so there's the guilt, but there's healing for that, you know, and just there's so much we're called to, guys. All of you who are young, I'm still young a little bit, I guess, I'm 21, I guess, but guys, there's so much that you're called to. You have no idea. You have no idea what you're called to. There's so much light that God has placed in you. And with that, I want to share this verse because there's a verse specifically that speaks on light, and it's Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 through 16. It says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a lamp and put it under the bushel, but on a stand, and it shineth unto all that are in the house. Even so, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who's in heaven." So now you know, like there are things within you that are meant to be shared with the world. They're not to be hidden. If you're really good at singing, please don't let the shower be the only place that you do it. That's how it was for me all the time. Is I'd only do it at home, and then I started doing it karaoke night. And I did it with friends, and it became a group. And now I'm on the worship team on Sunday service. There are about maybe, like 300 to 600 people each service. So before the pandemic, there were you know, over 300 people in each service. But 4 years ago, I would not have been able to do that. I would not, if someone asked me to do that, I would not do it. But I had to fall into the mystery. I had to, you know, move from just doing karaoke with friends to coming in and trying this thing, and it became what it is now, and it just wouldn't have happened if I hadn't fallen into the mystery. And I think, guys, what you realize, and what I realize, is that when we fall into the mystery, God meets us in the melody. He meets us right there. But we'll never know unless we try. So for those of you who are making the videos and no one's watching, keep doing it. Don't do it for other people too. Do it because you want to get better at that. You know, keep doing what you're doing to get better at it. And you know, even if one person is impacted by your gifts or talents, that's still a win. I know a lot of you with social media. I feel like this has been built into us. The likes, getting as much likes as we can. Likes. If I post when I post a poem and 5 people see it, that is fine with me. Because especially when they message me directly and say, "This is really good," it spoke to me. That's it. If I just get one of those, guys, you do not know the impact. You do not know the impact. So purpose does not require perfection. It actually requires imperfection. Our scars are proof that healing exists. And if we don't share those, then people won't see it. They won't know that healing exists through Jesus Christ. So it doesn't require perfection. What you have is enough. Where you are is enough. What you know is enough. This is something I've struggled with, wisdom, knowledge. I feel like everyone is smarter than me, but what I've learned is what I have is enough. What I know is enough. So, guys, I just want to leave you with that. I just want to encourage you all to walk forward in your gifts and talents and your passions with the mindset of my purpose, what I'm called to, does not require perfection. It requires just where I am. God can use you as you are with what you have. Can use you as you are with what you have. And so I just want to encourage you all to move forward in that. So that's why I dare you all to move into your gifts and talents now. Do something, make a video. If you've never made a video of you singing, do it. Do it. You never know what can happen with that. So I just encourage you all to do that. All right. Well, it's Michael. I'm so glad I got to do this with you all for a bit. And come to Wednesday nights. You'll probably see me around. We're doing some cool stuff. All right. Let's be safe.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. We'll be back every Monday night at 7 p.m. and you can always watch it throughout the week. We hope to see you very soon, and remember to love well, live Jesus, and believe big.